Hi, Scan and Cut friends. Today I'm finally going to get the video finished to show you how we will break apart and edit the design, the Christmas Village Applique 1 from Bunny Cup Embroideries Gingerbread Village Applique. It's a series of little houses, churches, cottages, and such that are all gingerbread style. And if we get started on it now, we can applique one block a month and end up with an adorable Christmas quilt for Christmas 2016. I have permission from Ashley at bunnycupembroidery.com to use her designs in the videos that will show you how to prepare the embroidery applique designs so that the PES file can be recognized in our Scan and Cut 550s and 650s. In addition, I'll use these to show how you can create the FCMs in Embrilliance software. Embrilliance Essentials will create the SVG for you silhouette users, as well as the FCMs for the Brother Scan and Cut users. So I'm going to be using PE Design version 7, or excuse me, version 9. This technique can be done all the way back to version 7. So version 7, 8, 9, which is also called Next, and 10 will change the color code for the applique position to the Brothers color code applique material so that the Scan and Cut can recognize it. I'm not sure if some of the techniques I use are available in version 7 and 8 because I don't have those versions on my computer anymore. I had to add version 9 on here so I could use version 9 because I use version 10 and I know there are a lot of you out there who do not have version 10. In addition to doing this in PE Design or Palette or with the Embrilliance software, we can also accomplish the same thing at the top of the line Brother or Baby Lock embroidery machines that have the embroidery edit option. So we'll be doing all three of those, and we're going to start using PE Design version 9 software. I've opened the design pack, and by the way, they're on sale now for $12, regularly $20. So if you get over there right away and get yours purchased so you can get started and play along with us. This is design applique number 1, Gingerbread Village applique number 1. I think it's a little church. It's got the steeple and a cross on top. So I'll be referring to it as a church. I'm sure that's what it is. Let's go over here to the color sewing order over here and just take a look at what we've got here. We've got 20 color breaks, and the first one right here, if I select that, it shows that it is the color applique position. That's because that's the way we would use it ordinarily in our embroidery technique, where we sew the running stitches on our background fabric, lay our patch of fabric down on top of it, then we would sew the second color, which is applique material, because that would tack down the material, and then we would take the hook from the machine, trim around it, put it back, and continue on with the either more applique pieces or to do the finishing stitches around the raw edges, the cut edges, the trimmed edges of our applique patch. We're going to change that whole technique now with the Brother Scan and Cut. So what we're wanting it to do is to cut these pieces right here, and I'm going to, just for the sake of seeing them more easily, I'm going to have that selected, and I'm going over here and choose Brother Embroidery Thread Chart in my color pane over here and turn it black so you can just see it better. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm going to turn all three elements that pertain to applique, the pieces that we'll use with the Scan and Cut. I'm going to turn them black right now so that you can see them. That's for the two side pieces of the front of the church. And then the next one is, that's to tack down the two side pieces at the front of the church. The third color change is the applique positioning stitches right here for the, there we go, get it, for the steeple. But we have the color applique over here, and really we want it to be something else, but so that we can see it, I'm going to turn it black. Actually, all of these color changes for applique are programmed into a design like this, not only by the fine folks at Bunny Cup, but by other digitizers too, because the goal was to create a color stop so that you could stop the machine, lay the fabric down, tack it down, stop the machine would stop again, you would remove the hook, trim it, put it back, and then continue on. Uh, this is contradictory to Brother's first idea of how we were to do applique back in the 1990s when they came out with their first applique design pack. We didn't, as users of the equipment, didn't really like that idea. And one of the freelance teachers that came up with the idea of changing the color order so that we would be using a more friendly to our brains applique position would show where the applique is going to be. We would put our material down on top, and applique material would tack it down. Brother wanted it to be absolutely reversed so that it was applique material, meant you would sew the running stitches on your printed cotton, take that out of the hoop completely, trim it all the way around, hoop your background fabric, stitch those running stitches again, lay your cut out applique piece on top of that, and cross your fingers and hope that everything would be caught with the tack down stitches. Thus, their color codes was applique material was first, because you did it on the applique material, and then applique position was second, because you did it by positioning that cut out applique onto your fabric. We switched that, said applique position made more sense to show us where to put a square or a larger piece of fabric. Applique material tacked the material down. Then we trimmed it and continued. I know for people who are just now getting into PE design, etc., that's a little confusing. If you've never done embroidery back in the olden days, you've always done it the way I just described, and so that makes sense to you. But it was a revolutionary change that came about when the educators, the freelance educators, and the digitizers flipped things over and said, this is the way it will work better for us when we're doing our machine embroidery applique. So this one was just used with the color applique, but actually it is going to be what the scan and cut will recognize to cut our applique pieces. The fourth one is tacking it down, and that says applique material. And then the fifth one is the running stitches here for the portico of the church, this front area here. It kind of looks like a little slice of bread. I'm going to turn it black so you can see it better. But that is the portico here. So I've just turned these black so that you can see them. Before we finish with this tutorial, we will actually assign them the color that Brother needs for the scan and cut to recognize them. Then our colors that continue on are the tack down stitches for the area right here, and it is in the original design called applique material. We'll have to change all of this. And now we come to the finishing stitches. That's the pretty blue stitches that do the little scallops here on the steeple, and then the lilac stitches that make the pretty little gumdrop like designs here on the roof, and the yellow for the perhaps they're gumdrops, but they are the windows here in the church. It's a pale yellow. And then we've got kind of a fuchsia here that are the diamonds here decorating the front of the church. And up here on the top, all of the other is the running stitch moving from one area to the other so that you didn't have a lot of jump stitches to cut, because that was a nuisance for people. They didn't want to have to cut jump stitches. And then number 11 is the brown. That's the cross right there, or you could use gold. And 12 is the vermilion color. That's some more of these little dots and the outlines of the windows here, the little diamond shapes. It's more decoration on the gingerbread church. And then this is gray. This is the top of the roof and the foundation of the church right here. And then we've got, she's using the color applique position, but it's really used as just a light peach because that is outlining the portico here. It's not an applique position design element. It's actually the finishing stitches for this portico, so it's a soft peachy color. And then we've got the green for some more decoration on the church. The dark green is the center little block right here, and the outline of the window, or the candy piece that makes the window right here. And then we've got some more of the lilac for the door, and some of the trim here. The darker lilac, a violet color, is to outline those pieces. And then we've got some white. That's the satin stitches here on the actual steeple itself. And the candy canes are also in white there. And then the red accents the candy canes and gives them their stripes and adds a few more of the pretty little dots or the candies on the gingerbread house. So see, there's a lot of colors going on here, but the ones that are assigned for applique work just fine with our old method because the method was intended to stop the machine. But what we want it to do is to cut all of our pieces with the scan and cut so that we no longer have to remove the hooked embroidery fabric from our embroidery machine and then trim it and then put it back. We would have to be doing that 3 times. Once for the side pieces of the front of the church, once for the steeple, and once for the portico of the church. And every time we would have to remove the hooked fabric from the machine, we run the risk of letting it sag a little bit as we trimmed it with our scissors and moved it around on our sewing machine table, or some people even try to do it on their lap, and they can really make their fabric sag, and then things just did not line up well. So let's try doing this with the new technique on the Brother Scan and Cut. So we will stop this video here and pick up on part 2, where I will actually show you how to break the element apart that is doubled and assign the colors ready to go to the scan and cut machine.